Okay, so I'm going to be talking about inclusion through peer teaching. So, regardless of where we are, everybody wants to be accepted, and we have several laws such as IDEA that protect students with disabilities. But inclusion is really a lot more than simply protecting their rights. When you're talking about inclusion, you're really talking about creating an environment where everybody feels like they can belong. And students with disabilities often have difficulty when it comes to feeling like they belong. So, why peer teaching? What's special about that? Well, the social circle of a student with disabilities is often different from that of a student receiving a general education, and this is for a number of reasons. They can be pulled in resource classes or for related services, or maybe they're in a self-contained setting, and so they don't have as many opportunities for interaction with their same age peers. They may also have a situation that causes them to lack the skills that allow for successful social interaction. So maybe they have an emotional behavioral disorder, or maybe they have autism, and those social situations are very difficult for them. Peer teaching gives a student with disabilities a connection with the general education community. So it gives them a person that they can connect with, and that's like their gateway into that general education culture or the culture where the rest of their peers are. This helps them to integrate, and it also gives them skills that can be generalized to life outside of school. So this isn't just going to help them be successful in a classroom setting, but it's something that they can take outside of the doors of the school and help them become successful at life. So to get started with a peer mentor or a peer teaching program, you first have to find the mentors. So the recruiting process should be collaborative, especially if you, as the exceptional child teacher or the para in the classroom, don't spend a lot of time in the general ed setting. You might not know this pool of students, so you need to get some feedback from the general educators that are in the school that might have more interaction with these kids to make sure that you're selecting the kids that you want. It's vital that you make sure that you're selecting mentors that are going to be good role models and who are going to be dedicated to this program. The Kentucky Peer Tutoring website, we'll actually look at that in a minute, but it has a lot of great resources, and one of those is a example of a Peer Buddy application. So for this, they would actually have the mentor apply for the position, and so this is a credited elective course. And this helps to make sure that you're, again, selecting the students that are going to be good role models and who are dedicated to not only the program, but also the student that they're going to be partnered with. It's important that we make sure that we are that we're partnering our exceptional students with students who are going to be good mentors. So this just goes through and it asks them to describe any experiences they've had with working with people with disabilities, their hobbies, the three qualities that make them a good candidate for the program, and what interested them. So it's kind of like a job interview. Next, you need to start working on your goals. So you have your mentors, and we're going to be forming the goals that the peer teams are going to be working on. And the areas of need for your student with exceptional needs can be identified through academic, behavior, and functional life skills assessments. So once you have those kind of narrowed down, you need to make sure that you are operatively defining the behavior that you want, or the skill that you want to see them acquire. And you need to be sure that you clearly communicate these to your student and to their mentor. There are some great models on the Kentucky Peer Tutoring website, and they have training for specific goals, whether that is a successful job interview or conversation skills, or maybe it's even money handling. But there are, like I said, there are training modules through there, and no matter what goal that you're working on, you need to model that for your mentor student. So your training needs to be explicit, and you should be modeling what you want them to do. As far as evaluation, your peer mentor is going to be evaluated each week, and this is according to the rapport that they've built with your student, their participation in the program, and the progress that they've made towards the goal. Peer teaching is a great way to give your students a contact within the general education population and to help them establish successful relationships while working on vital skills. So I want to take a look at the Kentucky Peer Tutoring website just real quick. So this has a few different sections. It has a section for educators, one for students, one for families, and then there are other resources. For educators, this is actually broken down for special educators and general educators. There it goes. And it goes through what a peer buddy is. And then it gives all of the different, like the application that I showed you before in the Prezi. It gives you the applications. It gives you like evaluation forms and things like that. It's also important to have your general ed teachers on board with this, and I like this section a lot because it goes through explaining the value of a peer buddy and what the general ed student is getting from it as well. From a special ed standpoint, it's great for us because it gives our students the chance to interact with kids in the general ed population and to learn a skill at the same time. But we need to be sure that our students are not the only ones gaining something from this. This gives them, it's a accredited elective class, and it gives them experience working with same-age peer students that have significant disabilities in those educational settings. So we have a lot of schools working towards giving students experiences or working on dual credits within the field, the career field that they want to go into. And this is a great opportunity for people who think that they may want to be teachers or maybe they want to work in a special education setting. It kind of gives them a taste of that and lets them see if that's where they want to go or not. For special education teachers, sorry, WinStream is slow. For special education teachers, it has a first-year student application, a returning student application. Then there are peer buddy information forms and an exit survey. This helps you get feedback on whether or not your program needs any tweaks or what they think about it. So here's a lot of good forms right here. And then the family section. When you have your special ed and your general ed students working together in a peer buddy setting, your families are probably going to want to know more about this. So this helps just explain to them, it gives them some details about inclusion. It talks about the purposes of the peer buddy programs. And it allows the parents to go through the modules and see what exactly their students are experiencing through this program. So that is it for using peer teaching for inclusion, and I hope to see this in your classroom.